There's no society in the world which doesn't prioritize education when it comes to its public face. On the other hand, if you take a look at the recent American election, the issue of education is never brought up, and that's because it's very controversial exactly what education means. From my perspective, education begins at birth, if not before, but it's also lifelong. And that's very important because we used to think that education ended when people were in secondary school or university, but now anybody who thinks that they say, well, now I'm educated, I can put aside learning, is completely nuts. I think that's not the challenge of collaboration, is education means different things to different people. To me, as a psychologist, I'm kind of interested in propagating my way of thinking and my disciplinary background. If I'm a business person, I want to have people who get on the job, are literate, and will show up and won't do anything dishonest. So to begin the conversation, you have to lay out what your particular goals are, see where there's genuine overlap, that's where you start, and then when there's not an overlap, you have to agree to moot that a bit. It can't be the central thing that you do. We have been throwing money at education in America for the last 20 or 30 years, and almost nobody feels it's improved materially. Finland and Singapore are entirely different kinds of countries, different political systems, different educational systems, but in both, teachers are considered to be highly professional. It's difficult to get to be a teacher. Teachers are well compensated. The teaching of teachers doesn't end with 6 weeks in Teach for America or a year at an ed school. It goes on for 10 years, and it's a real profession. And if you want to have an educated population, whether it's in Nigeria or Myanmar or southern Peru, basically you have to treat education and teachers with the same seriousness that you would treat your banking industry. Here's the 2 biggest challenges for education as far as I'm concerned. Number one, everything of a factual nature is contained in a smartphone. So it's a complete waste of time to memorize stuff which you can just reach into your pocket and get the answers for. The second one, which is the one I'm most interested in, is how do we have human beings who aren't just smart or skilled in any way, shape, or form, but also want to do the right thing, want to be moral, want to be ethical, and not just want to be, but do it. I think the answer is not that we add extra courses in ethics and morals, though I have nothing against that. I think the answer is we set a very powerful model of what an ethical or moral community is like. The best thing is for the educators to be digital themselves, because then there's no question. In fact, I already know that for most people under a certain age, they don't even notice whether they're doing something online or offline. But part of being a citizen is sometimes you got to shut this stuff off. And one of the most poignant stories I heard was there was a summer camp where the children were told they couldn't use their mobile phones. So they had a burial ceremony where they all took their phones and they put them in a deep crypt for the rest of the summer. But parents would give the child a teddy bear, and they would hide a second phone in the teddy bear so the child could continue to be in touch with the helicopter parents. And if you are not, if you're dishonest yourself in the digital world, you can't expect your children to be ethical.